I think it's one of them moves down where I think everyone wins. I think Chelsea win because they get a good player at the right age, 27. I think Man City receive a really good fee. I think Man City, especially with Pep, I always trust him to get it right. If he's got a player, I'd go back a few years when Leroy Sané left, and I thought, that's a bad move. That's a bad decision letting him go. The balance on the left-hand side, he was brilliant. Look what's happened to Leroy Sané. He's got Jack Grealish in the left-hand side. He's got Phil Foden. He's got Mahrez. He's got Bernardo Silva. He's got Kevin De Bruyne. So I don't think Pep will lose any sleep. So as I said, I think for all three parties, I think the player gets to move back to London where he first started, where he first sort of came from, if you like. So he gets back to close to his family, plays for a really big football club. He'll be probably thinking he's the main man there, where he certainly wasn't the main man, and no one's the main man at Man City under Pep. It's all about the team. So I think, as I said, for all parties, I think it really fits Raheem Sterling going to Chelsea. I think he'll do well.
Don, I have a question for you. If Raheem Sterling was so good, was so fantastic at Manchester City, why Guardiola wants to get rid of him? If he's still the player that he used to be, like 2 years ago, when he was it was absolutely fantastic, why the last 2 years we felt that Guardiola didn't count on him and was ready to get rid of him. So if he's, and we're going to talk about Ake, I guess, after that, if Chelsea wants to be the top of the top, why do you want player that club don't want anymore? And that's the case for Raheem Sterling. I'm not mistaken, I think. I think Guardiola doesn't want Sterling anymore.
Well, I think that's true. I think there's an element of that being the truth, but still, you can still be a very good player. Just because someone like Guardiola doesn't rate you for Man City, it doesn't mean you're washed up or you're finished. You can still be, as he was at the Euros, England's best player. He can still be an incredible talent. He can still take players on. His attitude is always brilliant. He's better than what Chelsea have got, probably, if they're going to look to move Hakim Ziyech on and one or two others. Hudson-Odoi's nowhere near the first team. So we'd imagine he's going to walk straight into Chelsea's team. And as I said, you know Ritzai Frank as well. When you've got to move and you've got a new manager and he sells the club to you and you're 27 and you still back yourself as being a player because he is a fantastic player. And Thomas Tuchel sells him the position. He sells him the players that he's going to play with. He sells him what ideas he wants, and he wants him further forward. You must know that he's a talent. He's a brilliant player. Just because Pep doesn't fancy him. As I said, because Pep's done £100 million on Jack Grealish and Phil Foden on the left-hand side. And don't forget, Calvin Phillips has now come in alongside Rodri. So it allows them to play a double pivot. So might even push Kevin De Bruyne further forward. So the riches that he's got, and that's Alvarez and Haaland in the equation as well at City. So I think it's just one of them moves where you think you get £50 million in for Raheem Sterling, that pays for Haaland. Man City fans will be buzzing with that.
I don't think it's a case of the manager not fancying him at all. I think it's just a case of the apart from maybe 2 or 3 players at City, the other ones are expendable in terms of team selection. And I think from the players' perspective, and that's what we've been hearing, there's a frustration that there might be a diminishing opportunity for game time. Clearly, if a guy plays 47 games, whether it's some of them off the bench or not, and contributes 17 goals, makes more appearances last year, you know, I touched on this last week, made more appearances last year in the Champions League than he ever did for Manchester City, he's got a part to play from the manager's perspective. However, competition is fast and furious at Manchester City. And I think there's a classic case here. Now, do I think he'd be better off staying at City in terms of his football career? Yes. But he clearly wants to, one, he's a regular for England, and two, he senses that it's going to be even more difficult, and Chelsea's need is more.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.